The battle of wits between the Grandmaster and the Challenger continues, but the real story is how the Hulk returns from the grave. What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. This is an iRate review, where I go over a comic book, its story, its art, give you my impressions, and let you know whether it's something you should go back to the comic book shop for or not. Make sure you subscribe to get more of these every single week. The comic that I want to talk about right now is Avengers 684, so this is part 10 of the No Surrender storyline, and while I haven't really been following along with the story so much, the real big focus of this book and what I want to talk about right now is how this is going to lead directly into the new Immortal Hulk series coming out of Marvel Fresh Start. So with Bruce Banner getting killed multiple times over his history, this is going to give us a little bit of insight into why he keeps coming back and how that's not necessarily great for him. So let's dive in and see what's up with the Hulk. While Avengers 684 is a great continuation of the current No Surrender storyline, I'm going to have to assume that you guys know a little bit more about that because it's not something that I really want to kind of jump into at the beginning. But the one thing I do want to jump into is where we start off with the story of the Hulk, the character that's on the main cover. We actually open up in the black, and then what we see is the insinuation that the way that the Hulk is treated inside Bruce Banner's mentality is that it's a door that he opens to this kind of entity. We get a recapturing of all the times where the Hulk has kind of come out to save Bruce Banner's life or has kind of had his life taken. So the first one that we open up is from Hulk's first appearance as Bruce Banner's running away from the gamma bomb and finally makes it to the safety of the ditch. Of course, you know, his friend there is with the body as he awakens with a green glow in his eyes and just starts screaming, a scream that would never end, a scream that he couldn't stop. So it's all about how this experience of death and rebirth has continuously happened to the Hulk over his history. So we see Age of Ultron, we see a tale from, Tales to Astonish, we see a variety of different things. We see where he's encased in metal from Incredible Hulk 446, and then we jump into Civil War II, where he asked his friend Clint Barton to take this gamma-enriched vibranium arrow and shoot it into the hypothalamus gland so that way he could remove all autonomous actions, so that way he wouldn't even risk the possibility of the Hulk returning, so that way he can leave. You know, there's no magical essence to him. There's no way that he could possibly bring himself back scientifically, magically. Anyway, it's impossible. However, he wasn't necessarily counting on the magic of others. So even though we had to live in a little bit of Civil War II world for a little while, we jump into the after-the-fact situation where the US Avengers found the resurrected Hulk for the hand, and this demonic entity was pulling him back out and using him, and Brother Voodoo came to rescue him. We have the events of Secret Empire, where he was brought back by Arnim Zola, where he's fighting the Thing, where he's getting buried inside the Mount inside Vegas, and really ending up encapsulated in this piece where he could hopefully die in peace. But no, at this point in time, somebody else is giving him a wake-up call. Somebody else is calling on the big green rage monstrosity to come and take on another task for them. And that appears to be the Challenger, calling the Immortal Hulk forward and bringing him back to life. So while he's been killed and resurrected and all these kind of things multiple times over his history, the real big key is that he is being brought back and he can't die. He is impossible to kill because there's always the opportunity. The body of the Hulk, the body of Bruce Banner is just waiting for that moment of resurrection where the Hulk, the power inside him, can really just expose itself once more, become that raw nerve of rage and take over his body and really go out and do what the Hulk wants to do. Of course, we do have the other events of No Surrender that are happening. We've got the Grandmaster and the Challenger moving their pieces across the board. You've got Nadia and Beast that are dealing with Jarvis, who's freshly woken out of his coma, dealing with the idea that Voyager is not who she says she is. And really what happens is we go back to Avengers Auxiliary Headquarters, where we see Icon, we see Living Lightning, we see the Red Hulk, the general there, and what happens is that Quicksilver, while he's recovering, Cannonball, while he's also recovering, are witnesses to the arrival of Voyager. So she's got the pyramoid, and she shows up, and she's got blue skin all of a sudden. She runs into the vault, locks herself inside, and that's where we get the backstory. This is not your average Voyager. This is not the person that we thought it was. It's not Valeria Richards. It's not anybody else. It is the daughter of the Grandmaster, who has posed herself as Valerie Vector. Using her research, we get the backstory of how Grandmaster's daughter came to be, how they were betting on the death of stars and wiping out galaxies and how they won planets and things in this cosmic game that the Grandmaster continues to tell. He gave her the powers that she needed, so not only can she teleport and move through space, but she can move into people's memories, insert herself into the histories that they once knew. That's how she became an original founding member of the Avengers. That's how she was on the Avengers team now. That's why everybody can feel like she is part of their story, but yet she's not. Normally she would have been here as the ace in the hole for the Grandmaster, Grandmaster, but this time she's playing her own game. And that's something that we're going to have to deal with a little bit later, but the Grandmaster doesn't really appreciate her first move. The real big focus, like I said, is the Hulk. So the Hulk has burst out of his mountain grave and is headed toward the Lethal Legion, who is pretty much, at this point in time, they're almost entirely destroyed. And he just comes smashing in, breaking spines and just absolutely destroying these people. It's such a grotesque scene that the Grandmaster can't even watch. The Challenger, of course, can, but the Grandmaster is a little overwhelmed by that. The rest of the Avengers are showing up, they're dealing with the Metal Master and all that kind of stuff. What they hear is that Voyager has locked herself in the vault with the final pyramoid and an opportunity to, like, I don't know, maybe use them as bait, maybe do something else, but there's somebody outside the hangar, there's somebody outside auxiliary headquarters that is going to be coming after Voyager, and that's the Hulk. He starts breaking down walls and bursting in through these various places, and Icon goes out there trying to phase so that way she can hold up against this monster that's trying to attack them. And she's like, phasing is not going to stop him. So she's becoming as hard as a diamond, and she's there ready to take on the Hulk one-on-one. And Icon pops forward, and Iku just smashes him across the face with no effect. He tears the suit from her body. The scream echoes in the hallways of this headquarters, and Lightning is just overwhelmed by what that is. Hulk casts her aside as if she's some sort of broken toy, smashes Cannonball towards the wall, saved only by Quicksilver, who seems to have his ribs broken, and Living Lightning takes one final jolt at the Hulk, taking all the power that he possibly has and funneling it into one shot that does nothing. The Hulk is something that's far beyond the capabilities of almost everyone here. However, there is one person that might be able to do a little bit of damage, do a little bit of, work on him, give him a dent, and that's the Red Hulk combined with some Iron Man armor. And that's where we're going to pick up next week when it comes to this book. If you go a little bit further into Avengers 684, you get a breakdown of all the different scenes they painted inside the resurrection of the Immortal Hulk. So you get the Incredible Hulk #1, Ultron Forever #1, Tales to Astonish 69, the Incredible Hulk 225, 367, 446, all these different deaths. The Indestructible Hulk #20, Civil War II #3, Uncanny Avengers and Secret Empire are on there as well. And it gives you the history of this death and resurrection and how many different times the Hulk has died and then come back. So I'm excited for where the Immortal Hulk's going, because I feel like this entire prelude was written by Al Ewing in a kind of preface, so that way he can set up his Immortal Hulk series that's coming into Marvel Fresh Start. And I'm really excited for where this is, just based on the perspective. I feel like it's going to be a bit more dark and twisted, and I really like that idea when it comes to this character. Overall, the art is pretty good. It's not necessarily what I would consider the best as far as that first part of the series. However, I can't really fault it, and it ties in roughly with the rest of the comic, which I feel has a little bit more stellar art style. I feel like it's just a little bit better. But overall, I think that this is probably one of the best parts of Avengers No Surrender that's come out, and I'm really excited to see where Immortal Hulk goes when it comes out in May, June, July. So I want to know what you guys think about this. I want to know what you guys think about Immortal Hulk, so hit me up in the comments down below and we can start that conversation. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows and games, and anything and everything inside the world of comics.